by LR is offering a $25,000 book publishing grant to one lucky first-time author from Trinidad and Tobago. Latoyaa Roberts, LR, will give us the full details this morning as she joins us on the Now Morning Show. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much, Anka.
Well, I'm glad that you're doing this because in terms of the process of publishing a book, many people do not know the complexities or the costs. So first and foremost, tell me why you were inspired to create this opportunity.
Sure. Well, it all began in 2021 when I published my first book. It was a poetry book, a collection of poems by Latoyaa Roberts. And ever since that process, a lot of persons kept asking me, how did you go about it? What was the process to get it done? They needed assistance to publish their book. So as a result of that, I did form a company called Books by LR to support not only writers here in Trinidad and Tobago, but throughout the Caribbean in terms of the process of self-publishing their book and understanding the publishing industry, etc. And from that, we have been 4 years strong now. And, I started this company in the month of November. And in November, I'm also celebrating my birthday. I celebrated my birthday 2 days ago. So I just felt as if the company has grown and I've worked with so many authors throughout the region. And this was one way in which I decided to give back in terms of the growth and the love for literature, the love for languages here, and especially focusing on Trinidad and Tobago authors.
What a way to celebrate, and happy belated birthday to you. But then, granted that the focus is not just limited to Trinidad and Tobago, let me also thank you for technically starting at home. In terms of the reach that $25,000 can give an author, tell me how that might be invested, just to give some insight on what the real figure could be like.
Right. So, publishing a book is really a lot of variables. It depends on the type of book that you have. So generally, the first step towards a book when you have your manuscript is usually going through your editing phase, the developmental editing phase, where you work with an editor to really streamline your chapters, your coherence, the flow of the book. And that could range from a few $1,000s to over $10,000, really depending on how big your book is. If it's a very large book, a very academical kind of textbook, or a very heavy, deep thinking book that has a lot of structural issues, a lot of concepts, a lot of theories that you want to make sure and streamline to ensure that the reader appreciates. So the editing process could take a lot. And then once you're finished editing, then you now go to your formatting. This is where you do your copy layout, exactly how the book is going to look, the size of the book, the images that you're going to put in there, the lining up, the pagination, all that structure within the book to get that final book product. And that requires sometimes working with a graphic artist, sometimes it requires working with an illustrator if you are doing like a children's book and you have a lot of illustrated designs, etc. So that could take a whole lot also. And then there are some final stages of your book cover. Again, most persons want to get a properly designed cover, making sure that your cover is sleek, neat, appeals to the audience, because you can't judge a book by its cover. So you really need to put some emphasis on that book cover. And then there are the final administrative phases of making sure you get your ISBN number for the book, which allows your book to be properly published by the international standard of having an ISBN number aligned to the book with you as the author and the publisher working on the book. And then lastly, you have those printing costs. Working with printers, sometimes it could be a bit challenging and expensive if your book is extremely large and you want to do an initial 50 copies or 100 copies of the book. So at $25,000, that could really give you a good layout of a completed book and get you about 50 copies of your first book.
Sounds like a fantastic start. Let's see who meets the criteria then, because I know this version of the grant is for citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, 18 years or older at the time of application. What are the other criteria that we need to be focused on?
Sure. Well, definitely, we know copyrights and original work is really important. So you must be the original. You must create the work yourself. Right. If you do it in collaboration with someone, then you need to identify that and let us know if there's a partner along with you. It's really important. A lot of people sometimes they just take people copyrights or they take people information without asking as necessary. So the work needs to be your original work. You also need to be able to not be a publisher before or an author before. So for anybody who has not published before, and when I say not published, I mean not published a full and whole book. So if you were probably like a poetry writer and you have a poem in a book or a magazine, that doesn't doesn't count. I mean, an original standalone work not published before. That is important. So this grant is really to inspire authors, persons who want to be writers, to really understand the writing process and really go on that journey towards publishing their own book. And then lastly, this is done with Books by LR. So we do encourage persons to, one, subscribe to our Books by LR blog, where we give information and content on how persons could be author and publish their book, or also the social media pages, as we continue to spread the word and information about literature, about writing, about becoming an author here in Trinidad and Tobago.
Latoyaa, we can do that with both non-fiction and fiction content, or is there a specific genre we're looking at?
Yes, I am open to all content. So if people want to produce cookbooks, children's books, academic books, fiction book, novels, romance, historical fiction, science fiction, the aim is really to get people to publish their work, to get their voices out there. So we are open to different genres of books.
Sounds good. Now, the registration lasts from the 4th of November, so we've already begun all the way till December 4th. Tell me what the process itself is like.
Sure. So the process is very simple. A simple Google form. You just let me know your name, make sure that proof that you're a TNT citizen, whether you upload your passport or your ID, a short synopsis of yourself. Just let me know who you are and why this grant is important to you, what you aim to achieve with it, a short context of the book. And please note to authors that your book does not have to be 100% completed. I've just asked for the first 3 chapters of your book, or maximum 5,000 words, so I can see what your book entails. Because within the grant, an editor will work with you to streamline and fix the book as needed. So your book does not have to be complete. If you have draft ideas, you're still thinking the process through, but you have sketches and at least you have a body of work, we will help you make it into something beautiful. And then definitely you need to verify and validate that this is your original work, that you have the full rights to publish the book, etc.
Fantastic stuff, Latoyaa. This is incredulous and a really large undertaking, but it's going to make such an impact on aspiring authors and really change the writing landscape of Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you very much for creating this opportunity.
Yes, definitely. And I really want to, my aim is to make this annually. So this is the first year. So I'm looking forward to persons who submit their ideas. And do not be discouraged, even if you weren't the chosen author. We do offer free consultation services. So I do intend to still talk to every single author that submits their work, to just point them in the right direction and the way to go in terms of them publishing their work.
Really commendable. How many authors are you anticipating or catering to in terms of submissions? Any target figures you're hoping for?
I'm leaving it open. I'm very wide and open to anyone who have a story to tell. I don't want to put a cap on it. Next thing I end up with 1,000. No,
fair.
I'm leaving it wide open. Let's see.
In any event, it was only a single recipient for this year, so who doesn't get in this year will have to get in next year. That's just how simple it has to be. For the actual registration, though, remind us of the site or the contacts that we can use to get to you.
So to register, you can go to Books by LR social media pages, or the website is www.booksbylr.com.
And in that case, LRT, I say congratulations in advance and thank you again for creating these opportunities for aspiring authors to actually take that leap and become published, thanks to the Write the Future publishing grant that you have created. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Look forward to the submissions. Thank you.
Best of luck. Hope you get that 1,000. But of course, Latoyaa Roberts-Thomas joining us this morning, the author and founder and CEO of Books by LR, creating an inaugural or offering an inaugural $25,000 TT grant to aspiring authors to become published. Guys, great things are happening on In Our Morning Show and you don't want to miss them. So come back after these messages.